Hey guys, happy Thanksgiving. This episode is only going to be out for like 3 days, and that's because I wanted to come to you on Thanksgiving and share with you the deals. So I have an opportunity for you guys to save $350 today, and it's really cool. So I'm baking chocolate chip pumpkin bread. I'm getting ready to go to Asheville, North Carolina and celebrate with family and friends. What are you doing? If you are alone today, then I hope you will tune into some podcast episodes and find some friendship. You can DM me. I intimately know what it's like to spend some holidays alone, and it sucks. And so when you have the friendship and the family and the invitations, today is a day I'm just soaking in the things that I'm thankful for. So let's get to this $350. And then I'm also going to tell you a little story about this birth that I was at the other day. So the first discount is from Anja Health, and the website's anjahealth.com. And the discount code is Birth Story Thanks. BirthStoryThanks. Birth Story Thanks. That is a $200 off discount code. That makes a cord blood and tissue banking kit free with Anja Health. It is $200 right now to go and order a kit at Anja Health to bank cord blood, tissue, and the stem cells. But if you use this code by Saturday, Birth Story Thanks, Anja is giving you $200 off to make it free, $0 to get this kit shipped to you. If you would like to listen to episode 88 of the Birth Story podcast, I interview the CEO, Catherine. She's amazing. We bonded over her brother having cerebral palsy and my son having cerebral palsy, and my giant deep regret of not investing in science and stem cells so that I could help heal him when he needed healing. And stem cell research is so cool. There are, I think, just under 100 FDA approved diseases and ailments that you can use stem cells for, including like cancers and leukemia. But I tend to think about like our older children, like when they're in high school and they tear their ACL, you can use those stem cells. Or if they're 60 years old and they have a heart attack, like imagine what the science is going to look like for our adult children. So you can go to anjahealth.com and use that code Birth Story Thanks for cord blood banking, just free. Just boom, get that done for free. Share this episode if you know somebody who is interested in cord blood and tissue banking. And then the other one is my online childbirth course, Birth Story Academy. About 500 people have taken it so far, which is super amazing and humbling. And that is how I'm able to offer you this discount today, because it's going to include the Birth Story Pregnancy Guidebook and Journal, which is a 42-week guide to your pregnancy. Each week, there's a postcard from the womb, so a postcard from the baby to you talking about their development. There is a journaling prompt for each stage of, or each week really, of pregnancy. And it's 529 pages. So there's a ton of birth stories and a lot of information. So if I'm writing you a birth story and it says, and then she got her IUPC, it defines what the hell is an IUPC, right? And all the things you've probably never heard of if you haven't gone to a hospital or given birth before. So that's the book, and that's $29. And the book being $29 is included in the Birth Story Academy, which I'm just making for $49 for the next couple of days through Saturday. That's it. So it's a $200 course, and I'm giving you $150 off. That's where the $350 comes, $200 from Anja, and then I'm doubling down with $150 from me so that you get a big book and an online childbirth course that's freaking amazing, all for $49. So you get your kit for free, you get a book, you get an online course for $49. So happy Thanksgiving. Birth Story Academy is incredible. It's 20 modules. It's about 6 hours of teaching, but you just do it self-paced, right? Each module is like maybe 30 minutes. It has a ton of downloads, parenting affirmations, printable birth plan templates, postpartum templates. There's information, like 20 different guides on like all the things that you're thinking about, like down to circumcision, delayed cord blood, clamping. There's so much about like breastfeeding and pumping. I packed this course like jammed full. And I mean, $200 is a steal. So like $49, like I'm literally giving it to you basically for what it cost me to produce it, including the book and shipping it to you for the next couple of days. Like, I'm just so thankful to be a small business, a female-owned business, to be connecting with you guys on the podcast and to be able to offer you these things. So anyway, I hope you'll take that $350 and you'll go to birthstory.com and the code is THANKS23. So THANKS23. That's going to get you Birth Story Academy for $49 with the book. And then if you go to anjahealth.com and you use Birth Story Thanks, then you can get that for free for $0. All this is through Saturday. Okay. So now I'll take one other quick minute to just tell you a story. Cause I am going to delete this episode in a couple of days when the, offer expires. But I had a client the other day that was like in the middle of her labor and she had just gotten her epidural and the, side of her face, like specifically the left side of her face, like completely like dropped. So I'm thinking stroke, Bell's palsy, like her eyelid was like, couldn't open her eye. When she smiled, like the wrinkles really weren't there on the left side. It was like all droopy. So clearly everyone's freaking out, right? Like we're like, oh my gosh, neuro, like they're doing all the neuro tests, like the OB, the midwife, anesthesia, like everyone's getting consulted. And it turns out it was like this very, 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 very rare epidural complication called transient Horner's syndrome. And Horner's is just Horners. And it was so fascinating to me because everyone's like, what the heck's going on? And she like was doing great. She's like talking, she could puff out her cheeks and she could stick out her tongue and she could squeeze your hands. Like, so it wasn't really looking like a stroke, but then like Bell's palsy wouldn't just onset like that. So the anesthesiologist came in and was like, oh, this is Horner's syndrome. It's like just a rare complication from like a lumbar epidural anesthesia. It's like benign, it's transient, and it'll go away as soon as the epidural comes out. Like everything will come back in her face. And I was like, oh, okay. Now, clearly it was weird to be in labor and like lose half your face. So she was putting cold compresses just to kind of relieve the like weird sensation. But literally as soon as she gave birth and they took the epidural out, it all went away. So, yeah, you can Google Horner syndrome if you want to learn more about it. They said it's a very rare, condition, and it's like the sympathetic nervous system, it's like a blockade. So like somehow when you get the epidural and it goes into that space, it can cause this. So that was my doula diaries for this week. All right. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for being part of the Birth Story family, for investing in my family, in a female-owned small business, and I'm so happy to give you $350 today. So don't delay. Go to anjahealth.com, use code BirthStoryThanks, and then go to birthstory.com and use code THANKS23. Okay, have a great day and a safe road trip if you're traveling.